Hello, Ben Woodruff here. I'm here in central Utah, and we are looking at some rock art panels here. Now, these are petroglyphs. These are ancient petroglyphs in a canyon where people pass through literally since the Ice Age. There's literally within this area woolly mammoth petroglyphs. That's how long people have been passing through this area. But some of these areas, when people would pass through, there's kind of like chokeholds, areas that would funnel people and animals through. And when you have a big rock like this one behind me here, it ends up becoming just like a big old wallpaper, a big old news advertisement. You can share a story, you can share your message, your legacy, whatever. And people have done that for millennia. And so back here we have some amazing images of all different kinds. We have there's a lot of animals, including pronghorn antelope, which that is a rare petroglyph we don't normally see. There's human handprints and footprints. There's animal footprints and animal trackways, including rabbit trackways. There's depictions of hunting. There's all different kinds of things here, and some of them are pretty easy to interpret. Some of them are kind of difficult. There's even what looks to be a crane, which is, again, that's not a very common thing that we see. So this is a really beautiful panel, but there's also a depiction of what seems to be a woman giving birth, and that's very unusual and very unique. And so some people have attributed a lot of meaning to that and have said, well, maybe this panel is very special. Maybe this is a place where when somebody gave birth, they came and had some sort of ritual. That's all 100% speculation. We don't know, because petroglyphs are not a written language. So anybody who says they can interpret it is still just interpreting from their own perspective. Even if you are a descendant of one of these tribes, this is the equivalency of if somebody does a painting from your culture and 1,000 years later you have some knowledge of your culture and you say, this is what this means to me, but it's still not a direct translation, because these images, the only person who could actually tell us 100% for sure what all of these images mean are the people who they themselves actually engrave them into the rock. But it's really a beautiful thing, because these images are like a message from the past. No matter what they actually mean, and no matter what you as a person who sees them in person, no matter what you interpret them as, they are still speaking to us from the past. And that's something special. That's something really beautiful. Sometimes some petroglyphs almost look like doodles, just people messing around. Sometimes they look like they have deep, meaningful, spiritual significance. But one thing we do know is this style of petroglyph is not just done by scratching a rock. Normally it was done with two pieces. You would have a piece of flint or chert and a hammerstone, and you would chisel in that way. And it's called peck and grind is a technique, and that makes these deep incisions. Now, unfortunately, at this site, people have vandalized it more than once. We should never, ever vandalize this kind of rock art. We should leave it be for everybody to enjoy. But that being said, what's interesting is where people have vandalized, they tried to do what I just said, just tried to scratch and engrave into a rock. And archaeologists and have come in after the fact and have tried to do some preparatory work to remove those engravings, and it was pretty easy. They didn't go very deep. So to have something this deep when you're only using rock and flint, two different types of stone to various hardness, to be able to hammer into this, that takes a lot of work. So this is not done casually. This is not just like somebody spray painting graffiti somewhere. This takes some real effort and some real thought behind it. So these are very special, and whoever did them, it was meaningful to them. We should enjoy them, we should respect them, and we should leave them be. Now, one of the sad things about this point that it used to be for years, I would come to this site and people didn't know. You'd pull off the road and you'd kind of just shimmy down the rock face. But unfortunately, they put like railing around it. You can step right over it. So why is that a bad thing? Unfortunately, it has drawn attention to this site, and they put a sign up as well. And ever since they did that, now people have vandalized this site, which is why, even though this is right next to a dirt road, I'm not mentioning the name of this site, because hopefully that helps to protect it some. But it's kind of sad that sometimes in an effort to preserve and protect something, you draw attention to it. Like with this fence here, it drew attention and allowed vandals to come and deface this site. But again, This is a beautiful site to this day, and it wasn't damaged too badly, and today we can still see all different kinds of images. And the amazing thing is, just up the road here, there's a flint quarry where people coming through here up from the river valley would gather flint and chert, make their arrowheads, make their spearheads, make their stone tools for butchering, for hunting, and for cutting and harvesting plants. And this would have been a natural stopping place. This big giant boulder, again, anybody who came past here, this was a place to stop, to rest when you're going up and over to the flint quarry, and this was a beautiful place to stop and leave your mark as well. And we always love to visit this here today. So, but again, I think that it's really important that we always remember to enjoy but do not touch petroglyphs or pictographs or any rock art, and to just leave them be.